Hello everyone, and welcome to What's Been Playing, the show where we put a spotlight on select video games and answer the lifelong question of, what is really worth playing? Well, it may not be a numbered entry, but I assure you, Sonic CD is just as much of a mainline game as the others are. You could say it's one of the Blue Blur's more obscure titles. Chances are, if you've played Sonic CD, it's probably not for the console that it was developed for. If it's not the PC version or the Sonic Gems collection, a compilation of Sonic games that don't get the level of attention that the main games do, it's most likely the 2011 remaster released by Christian Whitehead. Geez, it's crazy to think that it's been 10 years already. Time sure flies, doesn't it? Nowadays, of course, this game is much more accessible than it used to be, and went from being considered a hidden gem to an overall opinion that's more divisive than anything. Some people love it, some people hate it. It's very much the black sheep of the bunch, which will make it all the more interesting to look at. With Sonic 2 out of the way, we can finally see what was being worked on in terms of Sonic's next adventure over in Japan. Well, with that out of the way, let's take a look at Sonic CD. Where's my copy of Sonic CD? No. Nope. Not that. Not that, and not that. God damn it, it's the one Sega CD game I don't have. In fact, I don't even have any Sega CD games. And look at that. It looks like I don't even have a Sega CD either. Aw, Benji, you're so stupid. What a dumb fucking idiot. And this has been Stupid Fucking Dumbass Idiot Moments with Benji. Thank you, and good night. So yeah, I don't exactly have Sonic CD or the system it was released on. So today, we're going to be looking at the 2011 remaster released by Christian Whitehead, which is released on PC, Xbox 360, PS3, and mobile devices. It's got the usual widescreen support and other gameplay tweaks like all the other ports, of course, and in terms of structure, it's practically the same thing, minus a few changes that I'll go into throughout the review. Well, without further ado, let's take a look at Sonic CD. Alright, so where do I start? Well, alright. While Yuji Naka and the rest of Sonic Team were in America developing the sequel to Sonic the Hedgehog, Sega wanted Sonic Team to work on a brand new Sonic game for Sega's newly released add-on for the Sega Genesis, the Sega CD. It would pop right into the side of the Sega Genesis and had a whole library of unique CD-based games. That's right, guys! We're dealing with CDs! Look at that! We're the way of the future! So cool, so round, so compact. Look at this stupid fucking thing! We don't even need this dumb shit anymore!
No one has the right to touch.
Man, Ben's so cool, there's no way they'll know that's edited. Man, who needs cartridges anymore? This is the way of the future, and I'm sure that with this amazing new technology, the Sega CD was a smash hit. Man, screw CDs, cartridges are where it's at. Yeah, the Sega CD wasn't too great. Not one of the Genesis's worst failures, but it wasn't exactly the smash hit Sega expected it to be. It's not to say that it didn't have some good games on there, of course. Snatcher, Night Trap, the Sega CD version of the Terminator, there was some fun to be had. But anyways, to help push units, Sega was eager to see a Sonic game launch on the system, and tasked the team in Japan to begin production on what would be known as Sonic CD. The question was, with the big man himself off developing Sonic 2, who would be the producer for Sonic CD? Well, Naoto Oshima, who I briefly referenced in the previous episode, stayed in Sega of Japan while the others left, and therefore was left responsible for taking charge of Sonic games in that corner of the world. So obviously, Oshima was taking charge in this title. It's ironic, seeing as the company that was originally like, nope, it's too early to make a sequel, when presented with the idea of making Sonic 2, now wanted to have two Sonic games released close to each other. It just goes to show how much of a big deal Sonic 1 was. Though originally, the team wasn't set on making a completely new game. Sonic CD actually began life as an upgraded version of Sonic 2, which would feature more levels and other features. But due to the low sales of Sonic 2 in Japan, the idea was scrapped. Despite the rough sales of the Sega CD, Sonic CD would actually go on to be the best-selling Sega CD game, nearly selling as many units as there were consoles sold. Through the years following the game's release, though, it was put in a bit of an awkward position. As previously mentioned, Sonic CD would not see a re-release, aside from the PC version, at all until the Sonic Gems collection released in 2005. Meaning that before the collection was released, it wasn't particularly easy to find and play Sonic CD. Because of the game's obscurity though, it was held in high regard as a hidden gem, with some even saying that it's the best 2D Sonic game of the bunch. Of course, even though the game had a more vague background compared to the others, that doesn't mean that every element from the game was in the same state. Sonic CD would mark the debut of two new mainstay characters to the Sonic universe. First up is Amy Rose, a young pink hedgehog who is madly in love with the blue blur. She's introduced in the first level and appears in the second before being kidnapped by our next character, Metal Sonic, a metallic doppelganger of Sonic created by Dr. Robotnik and one of the blue hedgehog's biggest rivals. I love Metal Sonic. The idea of Sonic having a robotic rival that's just as skilled as he is a pretty cool idea, and it definitely looks much better than that Silver Sonic from Sonic 2. Both characters still appear in Sonic games today, so it's not like every detail from the game was completely left hazy. For Sonic's foray onto the Sega CD, the team wanted to shift focus in terms of gameplay this time around. While Sonic 2 had a heavy emphasis on speed, the team behind Sonic CD wanted a Sonic game that focused more so on exploration, give the player some worlds that Sonic can explore. And hey, there's nothing wrong with wanting to shake it up, but to put less of an emphasis on one of the character's most defining traits definitely sounds hard to sell and a little puzzling at face value. So how is the team going to approach the idea? What could they use as a base to make a game with less of an emphasis on speed?
And loud zone. Oh, freaking loud zone. Bring the game to a screeching halt. There's just so much stopping and waiting.
The game wants to advertise itself as a speed-based platformer, but then shoots itself in the foot by having levels that don't make use of its speed. Well, as ludicrous as it sounds, I guess it makes sense if that's the approach they wanted. So yeah, to flesh out this idea, the team used Sonic 1 as a base to start from, and you can totally see the similarities too. Sonic sprite, the similar shield design, Tails getting the boot, no Super Sonic, a similar entry method for special stages, and as you may have guessed, levels now have 3 acts again. Now I say 3 acts, but honestly, the third act is more like a 10 to 30 second introduction before the boss, so it's barely what you could call a third act. But yeah, in many ways, Sonic CD feels like a souped up Sonic 1 at times. I'll say right off the bat though that it definitely doesn't have the low points that Sonic 1 did, so it's not a complete carbon copy. No, Sonic CD more or less takes inspiration from Sonic 1 at points while still doing its own thing. Of course, now that we're on a CD-based console, Sonic CD has some perks that the other games didn't. Another thing you'll notice immediately is that this game has some wild colors. The color palette in this game is insane. God damn it, Sonic, you were doing so well after getting over your addiction in Sonic 2. Why'd you have to fuck it all up? The color that accompanies these levels sometimes makes no sense, and can definitely be a bit distracting at times. But I don't think it looks bad. Weirdly, I think that the strange color palette gives a unique flair to Sonic CD, and gives these worlds a strange charm to them, if that makes sense. While some are the equivalent of barfing colors onto the screen, sometimes the color palette really matches the mood of a level well, like in Palmtree Panic, Stardust Speedway, and yes, by the way, all the levels are alliterations, or in cases like the bad features of some levels, which I'll get to in a bit, really gives off the bleak, depressing nature those versions of the levels are trying to convey. For some, it's distracting, but for me, I think it's kinda cool. Other than that, we're obviously rocking some CD quality audio this time, and full motion video. On the topic of audio, let's talk about the game's music. Unlike the other mainline games, Sonic CD actually has 2 soundtracks. Yeah, the US version has a different soundtrack than that of the Japanese and European versions. It can't be a localization thing either, as the versions were released relatively close to each other. No, I guess they believe that the Japanese and European soundtrack wouldn't cut it for us Americans. Zones now have different themes between each other, along with boss themes and special stage music. As to which one you like more, well, that's a personal preference. In the remaster, you actually have the option to switch between both soundtracks, which is pretty nice. Between both soundtracks though, I will always stand by the Japanese and European soundtrack. Oh my god, this soundtrack is so fucking good! This is some of the best that classic Sonic games have to offer in the music department, period. It knows how to be funky, it knows how to be intense, it knows how to be atmospheric. It's a masterpiece. Of course, that's not to say that the US version's OST is bad. It has some tracks that are pretty alright. while it is all okay, just listen to the Japanese and European versions of the levels now. I know that music is purely an objective thing, but I don't know. I think this one just overall gets the job done much better. Easily one of the game's strongest points though. Additionally, Sonic CD also graced us with an FMV cutscene to start off the game. And well, let's just say that it's nice that the remake went through and presented it to us in its original state, because on the Sega CD, yeah, it was a bit rough. Still impressive, but definitely feels like a Sega CD game. We can thank Toei Animations for this amazing work on the intro. I love it. It's snappy, exciting, it's everything Sonic's character is and more, and a fantastic introduction to the game. Oh, and right, I haven't gone over the game's story, have I?
Oh no, they're gonna know I'm not a professional. I can't believe I didn't mention the story sooner in the script. God, I'm so stupid. What do? I need to do something funny and quick to make sure they don't get suspicious. Oh, I got it!
Hey, watch this.
Man, guys, Ben is so funny and original.
Well, to start off, it's not much more complicated than the other games. Out of nowhere, a small planetoid called Little Planet appears out of the sky as it is said to once every year. The planet is said to hold mystical relics known as time stones, which if all 7 are collected, allows the person to have complete control over the flow of time. As you may have guessed, this gets Dr. Robotnik's attention and leaves him to seek out the time stones and to utilize the resources of Little Planet on his quest for world domination. Sonic, who happens to be passing by, catches sight of Little Planet, which Robotnik literally chained to the fucking ground. Sonic, of course, realizes something is up and enters Little Planet to put an end to the Doctor's plan.
So yeah, basic stuff. At face value, it sounds like just another standard Sonic ROM. So let's see what Sonic CD brings to the table.
Well, right off the bat, Sonic plays just like you would expect him to control, and all the mainstay mechanics are here and accounted for, so no need to go into that. Though I will say real quick, I like the boss battles against Robotnik here quite a lot, except for the final boss and the first boss. Never have I seen a more anticlimactic ending to a game, and the first boss is just pathetically easy. But most of the boss battles in this game at least try to shake it up and put a spin on things, sometimes even incorporating mechanics from the levels itself. And who could forget about that climactic race with Metal Sonic? He makes one hell of an introduction and a great boss fight. It's intense, it's exciting, it's definitely the highlight of the game for me. Anyways, like Sonic 2, Sonic still goes away with the speed cap, but he also has a spin dash. Looks like the developers from Sonic CD were copying their classmates' work, if you know what I'm saying. But obviously they had a bit of trouble copying said homework because the spin dash here is not exactly what you'd expect it to be. In the original release of Sonic CD, rather than mashing the jump button like in Sonic 2, all you have to do is press the jump button once and actually wait for the spin dash to charge. Let go of the spin dash any sooner than the time it takes to complete the charge, and you won't be going anywhere. It's really awkward, and I don't like using it here. It takes the fun, snappy control that the Sonic 2 version had, and makes the move seem more like an inconvenience. Luckily, the remaster has the option to switch to the Sonic 2 spin dash, so you can relish in the better, more snappy method of using the spin dash from that game. But we also have a new move to Sonic's moveset this time around, introducing the Super Peel Out. While holding up in the jump button, Sonic will rev in place, transforming his usual circular running motion into a full-on figure 8 before blasting off in the direction you charge it in. While you do have to charge it, it's much faster than the spin dash was, and I don't know, I think it's a super cool addition to the moveset. The only trade-off is that you don't start rolling into a ball, meaning there is potential to run into objects, unless you curl into a ball the minute you blast off. So, a Sonic game with a heavier focus on exploration, huh? How does the team approach the idea? Well, the third thing you'll notice from these levels is that they've gotten much larger in terms of verticality. Levels have many more branching pathways and methods to reach the top and bottom of the stage to try and get the player to explore their surroundings. The level design in this game is very unique, and sometimes strange in terms of what Sonic has seen compared to previous games. You'll be bouncing around, traveling up and down. It doesn't leave its way for constant high-speed thrills, but more so leaves opportunities for the more curious players out there to see what each route will offer toward their goal. Some of the mechanics in these levels are also kinda hit or miss. Some are fine and inoffensive, like the loops in Palmtree, Panic, and... Mini Sonic! Okay, never mind. Best game, 10 out of 10. But some of the mechanics just don't work here. The plane switching in Stardust Speedway, the abundance of bouncy objects and collision chaos. Oh my fucking god, Wacky Workbench. The best example of that statement. Fuck the stupid ass bouncy floor and these freeze thing. Easily my least favorite level. I keep trying to get to the bottom of the stage, but it keeps bouncing me back up to the fucking top! I know that the level design can be a make it or break it thing for many people when it comes to this game, and I will agree. Levels don't flow as nicely as they do in Sonic 2 because of the shifting gameplay. Sonic still has his speed, but there aren't always opportunities to go fast, and for some, that makes the game a deal breaker. Don't get me wrong, the game does have its moments of speed, and it's just as exciting as ever when you do go fast, but like in Sonic 1, those moments are a tad more spread out. Even when you do try to play it like a standard Sonic game, levels will end sooner than you may think, and honestly, most levels can be beaten by just holding right. It's very much a Sonic game that wants you to break those old habits of wanting to try and go fast constantly, which is admittedly hard at times. That's not all though. Along with more vertical levels, Sonic CD also introduces what's probably its most defining feature, the time travel mechanic. Yep, Sonic now has the ability to travel through time, and levels now have 4 different versions of them that Sonic can travel through. The past, present, bad future, and good future. Located throughout the stages, you'll come across signposts labeled past or future. Once you pass them, you need to keep a consistent speed going, and as you do, Sparks will trail behind Sonic, and if you keep the speed going long enough, you'll run into one of the 4 versions of the stage.
88 miles per hour!
Also yes, this mechanic was inspired by those movies. Going back to the past sees what the level was like before robotics started to take over. Things look much more natural, you could say, while the future... Man, that sucks. Yeah, the first time you travel to the future in a level, chances are it'll look depressing as fuck. And these aren't just aesthetical changes either. Sometimes the level design changes accordingly too. See this spike pit here? Well, maybe in the future it may be gone, or you might find access to an item box in the past that was otherwise impossible to reach in the present. It adds a lot of replayability to the levels, and I think that this is where the exploration aspect is truly emphasized. Though, like one would think, time traveling does affect future events, and this game follows that philosophy. Within the past version of each stage, Sonic will find a generator where all of Robotnik's badniks come out of to wreak havoc. But by traveling back to the past and destroying it, Sonic can create a good future for the level, and when he returns to the present, all the enemies that were once there are now gone. If you find and destroy the generators in the first 2 acts of each level, the third act won't be the bleak future one would expect. You instead create a good future for the level, which is the 4th variant that a stage can appear as, typically appearing more bright and cheerful compared to the bad future. I'll be honest though, I usually don't bother with generator hunting. While some are easy to spot, some later in the game are placed in really fucking stupid spots. Take this one in Wacky Workbench for example. Not only is it a miserable fucking time to time travel in because of the bouncy floor and abundance of hazards, but you need to walk straight into a piston that by common video game logic should kill you. But no, it takes you through a hidden pipe to the generator. Like what the fuck? How does that make sense? By the 3rd or 4th level, I usually just stop. It's another make it or break it thing for many people. I will agree and say yes, it really is a hassle finding a spot that has enough clearance to keep the speed going to time travel. Yeah, some parts of the level are specifically made for time traveling, so it's not impossible, but it gets really frustrating when you continuously try to travel back to the past to destroy a generator, only to lose your speed and have to look for another signpost, because if you get interrupted at any point during the process of keeping your speed going, you'll lose your chance. That doesn't mean I hate the concept itself. Not at all. I think it's a brilliant mechanic, but I think they tried to have their cake and eat it too here. You can't have a mechanic that focuses primarily on speed and have levels that are more focused on exploring. It makes the process all the more uncomfortable.
Maybe there's some special reward for destroying all the generators, maybe a new cutscene, a new level, maybe even... Why do I fucking bother?
So what is your reward for destroying them all? Flowers. Flowers at the end screen. Fucking fantastic. I'm so glad they brought this over from the first game too. The mechanic itself is a cool idea, and not implemented terribly, but it can be seen as a pace breaker, which I am partially inclined to agree with. Well, if you want to see the good features of the levels but don't want to bother with the time traveling after a bit, there is another method, and I think you might know where this is going. After collecting 50 rings and reaching the end of an act, you'll see a giant ring appear, just like Sonic 1, and be transported to these games' special stages.
Oh god, the special stages in the first 2 Sonic games sucked royally. Who says it's going to be any better here? They're probably just going to suck like the others.
Oh. Wow. Okay. I'm not constantly running into shit. It's not hard to control, Sonic. These are actually kinda good. Yeah, no joke. I love these. My favorite special stages in the older 2D lineup, actually. You have to guide Sonic along a track, trying to destroy all the UFOs in the stage before the time limit runs out, while also avoiding water, because that significantly decreases the amount of time you have. The purple UFOs give you rings, while the blue UFOs give you a speed boost, which admittedly can make it a bit harder to control. But this is what I'm talking about, an easy and fun way to obtain the emeralds, or in this case, the time stones. And it's not like it'll all be over if you run low on time. You can easily refill your time by finding the blue and red UFO located in the middle of the stage, once your time gets low enough. It's also pretty cool to be running around in a 3D space, too. Special stages always kind of acted as tech demos for the Genesis hardware, and this one, in my opinion, is the most impressive. Once Sonic destroys all the UFOs, he'll be rewarded with the Time Stone, and when you collect all 7 of them, you get the automatic good ending, and all the levels from there on will be the good future equivalent, all without having to destroy a single generator. That is if you're okay not seeing the good features of the first 3 levels. But yeah, that's mostly it. Once Sonic takes down Robotnik once again, Sonic and Amy escape Little Planet and watch as the chain bounding in place breaks away, freeing the small planetoid. You're also treated to another badass cinematic as the credits roll, ending Sonic CD. God, I love these cinematics so much.
And well, that's Sonic CD. So where's my stance? Well, I definitely don't think it's a bad game. In my opinion, Sonic CD has a lot of good ideas, just with some awkward execution. Let me say right out of the way that I still think this game is fun. The journey itself didn't upset or bore me, but the time traveling to destroy the generators and the sometimes frustrating level design made it not as fun as it should have felt at times. Even when you try to play it like a normal Sonic game though, it really shows how much they want you to explore your surroundings, unlike Sonic 2, where the pace was always consistent. Again though, there are many aspects to this game that are outstanding. The music, the super peel out, the concept of time traveling, Amy Rose and Metal Sonic, the boss fights, so many parts to this game that I love and keep me from truly disliking it. Unlike Sonic 1, to a lesser extent, and 2, where I think they can still be enjoyed on their home console, I think that Sonic CD can only truly be enjoyed to its fullest by playing the 2011 remaster. It has all the enhancements you would need and more. There's even a playable Tails mode too, for some extra replay value. It's nothing great, but nothing terrible. It's a perfectly average 2D Sonic game. If anything, I can say that I at least enjoy the levels here than the first game at least. The level design keeps you moving more than the first, so bonus points there. And don't get me wrong, I still enjoy playing Sonic CD. I sometimes boot it up from time to time because I still think the adventure is enjoyable, just not to the extent of Sonic 2 is. But I know that for many people, that's not the case. Well, with Sonic CD out of the way, we're finally about to reach the final stop on our marathon, and I gotta say, I'm definitely looking forward to this one. So next time we return, we'll be looking at Sonic's last major adventure on the Sega Genesis, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles. Thank you all for tuning in, and take care.
God damn it, Benji, you couldn't think of anything funny for the ending? I fucking blew it! I gotta say something funny again that will entice the audience.
Man, Sonic CD really does suck.